Welcome to Look Behind the Look, the new podcast that examines iconic looks in film, television, music, and fashion history. I'm your host, Tiffany Bartok. The beauty of creating this podcast is getting to share with you all of the people that I admire the most. Yeah, you get that, right? That's the whole point. I love my guests so much. I gush over them, and luckily the reasons that I so admire them usually comes through to you, so they inspire you. Sometimes the guests and I go way back, and sometimes they're just people that I've always wanted to meet. This is one of those guests. Jessica Matlin is someone who I have admired from afar for so long. It's really hard to find people who take beauty seriously, but also completely understand the purpose that it serves in the world. It's not too much, it's not too little. She's kind of the Goldilocks of beauty reporting for me. It's just the right amount. And Jessica is the beauty director of Harper's Bazaar, a magazine that I personally love so much. I was never really a Vogue girl. I always preferred Bazaar, and the covers plastered my room my whole life. So I invited Jessica on the show to talk about some of the best Bazaar covers that Kevyn Aucoin did. Jessica's not only the beauty director at Bazaar, she's been a beauty editor at Cosmo, Allure, W, and others, and even worked on the biography of Kevyn Aucoin, A Beautiful Life, which Carrie Diamond wrote. Her podcast, the award-winning Fat Mascara, is a must-have in your podcast library. She's interviewed absolutely everyone you could possibly imagine in the beauty industry and beyond. And by the way, she's a mom, a New Yorker, and a kind person. So here's a little piece of my conversation with this unicorn. Enjoy. Okay, so here I am, and I'm talking to Jessica, and we are stealing away some time while Lake is in the napping state, which is, how long does that usually last?
We're actually starting sleep training again. So this is the first nap in 3 weeks. And just like we're praying. We're praying.
Prayer is chapter
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
absolutely. Are you having so much fun?
Doing
Not the
what? Sleep training?
not the sleep training. At mommy in general. I mean,
There are, yeah, we're having a lot of fun a lot of the time, but a lot of the time it's I wonder if I'm doing it right. So there's a lot of self-doubt, a lot of fun, then it's like back to self-doubt, then it's like crippling, like, exhaustion, then back to fun. Then, yeah,
stopped.
yeah, yeah.
There's a pandemic, and
Yeah, but she's amazing. She is a little magical baby, and I don't know what I did to deserve her.
she's so you did a lot. She is adorable and so
Thank
loved
you.
and the best. I
I love her
love
so much.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
love seeing her progress on Instagram. I wanted to talk to you today because, well, it was funny. I first wanted to talk about a episode on like a look behind the podcast, right? And
Yes.
because Fat Mascara is, of course, my jam. You're the OG.
Ah.
I grew up. I want to be like you when I grow up. I mean, I I don't know if you know. No, you couldn't know because I've never told you. I'm telling you now that you really inspired me so
My
much.
God.
I mean, when you came out with Fat Mascara, Troy texted me, I just talked about the movie on Fat Mascara. And I was like, what is Fat Mascara?
I remember when he told me about he was one of our first guests.
Yeah.
And I remember he told me about the movie, and I was so excited. And I was like,
Oh.
you have to, like, tell us any like information. I was like having like a panic on the air because I was so excited.
That is so awesome. Yeah, I really felt like, I mean, it's funny how I felt like this is really happening because it was mentioned on Fat Mascara. And it was like, I love timelines. I love deadlines. I love pressure. And that was like just exactly what I needed to be like validation and encouragement all in once at once. So that was great. And, Troy had a great experience with you, obviously. And
Oh,
then I started following you, and just everything that you do is so inspiring. I mean, you are a consummate New Yorker, and to be in the beauty world, it's really hard to find people that kind of think like you, because everybody's
yeah,
so different in the beauty world. It's not
it's
like a
true.
blanket thing. And so I really just loved how the intelligence that you bring to the beauty world, and like the respect for pop culture and beauty. It's different than sort of like a vanity. Your approach to it is not vanity based. It's like intellectually based. And I think that's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I originally wanted to do a look behind Fat Mascara, how it came about. And then I realized you did that. I just listened to it actually.
Oh,
You
for like
did
our anniversary episode
your
or 300. Yeah.
anniversary episode
Yeah. We just did
was
300 episodes, which was like wild. Just
it's
kind of crept up.
amazing. And so 300 episodes in how many years?
In really 5 years. Our first episode was February 2016, but we started recording in like 2015. We did, like a test episode to see if like we like doing it, and then another episode, and then kind of like let it chill for a minute. But then yeah, we launched in February 2016. So I guess that's, oh my God, 5 years. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is an example of doing something because you love it, being rewarded because you're honest about it. And those are all of the things that I swear by, because we can't depend on anything in this world. And you don't know, like,
That's for
you
sure.
don't know what the hell's going to work. And so you just have to be completely genuine in your intentions. And that's definitely what it is. And it's gone on to be the go-to. It's incredible. I
I'm so glad you
will,
like it. I
I
never
love
I
it.
never know who listens. It's so, unless someone tells me to listen, I never assume someone listens ever.
Never.
So
No,
yeah.
it's like I say, if a podcast is broadcast, does anyone hear it? And if a tree falls in the forest, does anybody?
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to have an episode that's like, anybody listening? Who are you? Who is this? But when you raised a wand to the movie, like, I definitely felt like, I feel like you should make them and send them to people, because if that was like an Oscar for me. I was like, Troy, they raised a wand. They raised a wand to the movie. I was like, Jessica, I
Little
can't
gold
believe it.
wands.
Yes, I was such an accomplishment. That was my Oscar for sure. I was
Well,
so
that movie
excited.
was so great. I was so excited to
Oh,
watch that movie. Like I was hyping that movie before I even saw it. And
you
then
were.
the payoff was great. I mean, that was the movie I was waiting for really since the books came out. Because when the books came out, and I know you didn't do Kevin's books, but when Kevin's books came out, it was like, I need to know more about this man. And then obviously, there would be more to the story, unfortunately. But I just wanted I want to know more about him. But the climate was so different. You couldn't find out more about a person
Oh,
unless you you know found like a special about them on TV or a
yeah.
book.
Or yeah. And nobody would do it on the makeup artist. That would be crazy. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah. That was the
but
whole reason that we made it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it was like it was just very I don't know, it just kind of like, I don't want to say is satisfying, because it makes it sound like it was, like all happy, but I wanted,
No,
I
that
was waiting for it.
to me, that's a huge compliment, because it makes it feel like it was a complete, like you weren't like the part that would kill me is if you said, I just wanted to know a little bit more about, da, 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 da,
No, and
da.
it's also like there's
So
privacy that
yeah,
that you have to think about too. But I just always kind of want to know more about, not kind of, I wanted to know more about him and his world and the people in it. And um it was like, oh, like finally the other piece of the puzzle that I was looking for as a fan when I was
yeah.
younger. So yeah, it was really beautifully done.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. I was inspired, of course, by Bazaar growing up. I always got Bazaar because I felt like, like I grew up in Portland and was totally alternative. And I always thought it was like the cool Vogue. Like I just I was
I
like,
get it.
I don't do Vogue. I do Bazaar. And the name, I was just like, no. I was like Sassy, Bazaar, and Allure. That's all. And so I loved Bazaar. And then as I was looking back at some of the issues when I was thinking about Kevyn's covers, because we're going to talk about Kevyn's covers,
Yeah.
is that the Bazaar, it really featured the makeup, like when I was growing up, like whereas the whole look would be on some covers, it really went in on the beauty. And I was trying to remember if you remember that being the time, or sort of the way Bazaar was focused, because Allure was a beauty magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And Bazaar also I associate with beauty so much more than Vogue being complete fashion. So I didn't know if you had any comments about that or any recollections about that at all.
Obviously, I think, Allure was, it was founded as a beauty magazine. Linda Wells was a genius, and she was able to see that there was an appetite for a magazine all about beauty. And, we had her on the show, and she can tell you about that origin story in the moment that, she pitched it and everything. I think Bazaar, just from my perspective, and again, I was not there at the time, at the time that you're talking about.
Right.
But Bazaar has always been really known for really amazing photography.
Yes.
And really amazing photography is often like photographers, this is my perspective, like are very inspired by often like are very inspired by beauty photography, or really great photography is often great beauty photography. And if we want to talk about the beauty fashion world, or women's magazines, it's not like lifestyle-y. It's very tight, really cool, photography and really interesting shots. And I think at that time, you're talking about like the 90s, I'm assuming.
Yep, Patrick
right?
Demarchelier, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there was just a lot of great avant-garde makeup looks too, and also really beautiful minimalist looks too that were like very striking. If you look at like the fashion and beauty advertising at that time, think about like Calvin Klein. It was so minimalist, or the grunge era, which is like also kind of like in the Venn diagram, Calvin Klein. Really clean, beautiful skin and like kind of moody faces. Corinne Day, amazing like moments there.
Yeah.
That like a lot of these photos, I feel like were very influential and very tight. I think that one was for Vogue, by the way. I'm not sure.
Yep.
But I just think like there was just so many beautiful tight shots. And just the makeup was, we were coming off the 80s where it was a very distinct style. Now there's a very exciting pendulum swing.
Yeah.
And now we have, like I said, the bare minimalism, but then we also have really beautiful, experimentation with, like the complete opposite.
Yes.
So I think, that's why I feel inspired by a lot of the, beauty looks from that time. And of course the makeup artists. Hello. We're here to talk about some of the makeup artists. Like you're seeing a lot of like the crop of makeup artists who are naming by like, first names sometimes, working, and they're just doing incredible, looks.
The minimal of Kevyn is always discussed. Like minimal Kevyn is hilarious because it's maximal Kevyn, so I think
it's like 3 hours to get the minimal Kevyn.
As Cindy would say, like erase the face and then put it back on. And the one of Julia Roberts, I think Serge did the hair.
Oh yeah.
And that gray, I guess I would say, many say that the Tori Amos Jupiter eye makeup is ultimate smoky eye.
Dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
That's good. But this was the wearable smoky eye, I feel like. And then this is what people mean when they say smoky eye. That is like, I wish someone would, like Webster Dictionary would say what a smoky eye is so that everybody was on the same page about it, because it's the most misconstrued, misunderstood word in beauty. But when I look at this Julia cover, I feel like that is it. That's what people want, and that's what people mean. The inner rim is done, and then it's smoked out, and then it flares out, and then it's a perfect brow. I feel like this look could be today, for sure.
I think a lot of his looks could be today, but yeah, I agree with you. I think, when people think smoky eye, they could think that, the beautiful look that you're talking about there, they could think something like, please, if you don't know what it is, Google Tori Amos, Hey Jupiter. But they also could think something that is like, something that like Britney Spears did in like, the early 2000s, smoky eye, or Christina Aguilera, where it's like a lot more aggressive. So there is no universal smoky eye by any means.
I agree completely. And then color, like Brown, black?
Pick
Like, what do
one.
you
Yeah.
mean? Yes.
But you know what's funny? You brought up like the kind of confusion about the smoky eye, but also like the color aspect. Kevyn was brilliant at like this sort of indescribable perfect neutral. So when he came out with the first book, it was The Art of Makeup. It was like I'd put it. It's the kind of thing you need like what is it, like a podium? Like you should have
You
a podium
do.
and you'd put it on the podium and like only one spread shows at a time because it's so
Yes.
large
And
and
then
you
you
have to like
change up which spread it is for the
yeah, exactly.
guests. Yeah.
Yes. But I was like, a young teenager when that came out, and that was my first book. And I remember he said you need a pinky nude lipstick.
Pinky
And I was like,
nude,
a
yes.
pinky nude. And I was like, what is that? And I went to the drugstore because at that point, like there was, that was the go-to for me. I wasn't like
Mhm.
hitting up like Neiman's and pinky nude. And I searched high and low for a pinky nude. There was not a pinky nude. It was like you were pink or you were nude. Like he had like a sophisticated, now you can get like every color of the rainbow.
Yes.
Like every
Yes.
every brand, they come out with like the nudes, and it's like a nude for everyone. There's like at least 12 nudes in this like mini collection. But he was on to the fact that like neutrals were a very complicated topic, and
Right.
they were I'm gonna say complicated, but like he was
But
onto like a nuanced nude.
it's layered because you have pinky nude and brownie nude and and it,
Yes.
yeah.
And
And
when I
some
look
are
at that
more,
Julia eye, I'm like, that
yeah.
color's weird. And
Because
that's
do you
why
see purple in it?
yes, purple. I see brown. I see mink. I see like
Mhm.
gray. I see a color that is perfect. And it is the perfect neutral. But good luck, like, trying to explain that to someone. And good luck trying to buy that color when it came out.
Right. Right. I think that pinky nude was
He was ahead of his time.
if it was before Kevin, it must have been after that Twig came out, and it was like that was the thing. Mac had a Twig, and
Yeah.
it was sold out constantly. But
Oh,
then
yeah.
here, this is now the other Bazaar neutral Kevin. This was my favorite of Christy Turlington. It is in the movie. I love it so much because I felt like this is another Kevin nude that looks like it had a lot of effort because I see the brown contour and the pink blush, and then I see a coral color on her lips, but one might also call that a pinky nude, but it's not as nude as the Julia one. It's almost coral.
He was a master of neutrals. A master
Yeah.
of neutrals.
Well, from the Ultima 2 experience, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And launching the nudes, which I think Lisa Eldridge might be the only one who still has them, and I would like to one day acquire them.
So you're gonna laugh. I went to so for any listeners here who like it's probably like one who might know this, but I'm from New Jersey, and there was a big Revlon factory in New Jersey or distributor or something. And they had this massive factory like sale every so often.
I'm
And I would
already
go,
insanely jealous. I
no,
don't.
no, it was insane. My mother took me, this is like, okay, this is like the craziest story. The first time my mother took me, she said, I'm taking you someplace. I am not going to tell you where I'm taking you. It's like some kind of like kidnapping story. Okay. Like a happy one. I shouldn't even say that. It's such a horrible, like, it's a hard, if I rewind, I don't like the horrible thing to say. It was like a surprise story. So she said, I'm taking you someplace. You're going to love it. I was like 13 or 14. And I'm like a crazy makeup person at this point. Like I'm in deep. She takes me to this place. It was like in Homedale or Howell, okay, for my Jersey folks. And it was around like Route 35. And it was this huge warehouse. And I was like, what is this? And it was all of the Revlon brands. So it was Revlon,
My
Ultima 2. They owned a brand called Clarion at this
Of
point, okay?
oh my god. Clarion.
Clarion. They
I
also owned
remember.
Aquamarine shampoo, which
Oh
smelled like the
my
sea.
yes.
Okay. This place was just packed to the rafters. It looked like an old like garage, but like a factory of all this product, and everything was like, I'm not joking, you guys,
$1.
like $1, okay?
No.
We went home with crates, and I got like the entire Ultima 2 collection with that, it's like ivory with the black
Yeah.
like edging. So I could be just as cool as Lisa Eldridge with the whole freaking collection if I had saved it. I have to tell you, it looked so modern. Like now when I look at it, I'm like, it kind of looks like Hermes could be using this stuff as like inspo at their like
Yeah.
table, you know,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Zara.
Yeah.
It's so
Zara.
freaking cool. But I'm like, I also, when I think about the place that we went, that my mom and I went, I'm like, was that heaven? Like, did that really exist? If anyone remembers this place, please send me a DM because I still can't believe that we like I still can't believe that it happened.
This is so great. Oh my God.
It
This
was
image of me,
cr-
this image I have of you going into this warehouse as a 12, you 12, 13, 14?
we went several times
Oh
and
my God. It
I've
did
never
exist then.
no, no, we went several times, and I don't know if it was like my mom read about it in the paper, like, oh, like, again, like the fabulous like Revlon sale, like Friday, or if it was like always open. But I feel this is pre-internet, so like imagine if this was open all the time, like Twitter would be like
Yeah.
it off the like it could. I don't think it could exist today.
Well, no, they have the employee stores, but they're very done up and they're very, whatever,
No, this was like
glamorous.
this was not
Not
glamorous.
glamorous.
This was like there should
Mm.
like it was almost like there was a like a shed, like someone's like
Mhm.
coming there on the
Mhm.
back.
Mhm. 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 Oh my God. If only we could go back. I had some Ultima 2 things that I got rid of too that and I mean, I just like I wonder, am I gonna find them anywhere in some kind of secret locker? No, it's over. It's over. They're gone.
Have
And
you ever sorry, keep going.
no, it's okay. I heard rumors that they were going to bring back the line, and I know, but this was years ago and it never happened. So I'm thinking it didn't happen. I know.
Okay, have you ever bought makeup on the internet, like old beauty stuff?
I only
Fessa.
okay. Only one Dita Von Teese MAC collab.
Okay, okay. Do you use it or just admire it?
I use it. I use
Okay,
it. But I checked the rating. I checked the ratings
okay,
of the seller and everything. I
okay.
vetted this seller. Yes.
Okay. Okay, to make sure that it wasn't like counterfeit cuckoo
Yes, and that I would get
fans. Okay.
herpes. Yes.
Okay.
I was so scared because I don't trust anybody. I can't even get Lancaster sunscreen on Amazon because I'm so scared it's counterfeit. I just need it to
I
be real.
understand. I
But what about you?
understand.
What about you?
No, but I do there are things that I miss that I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
should I? But
I
I'm like,
know.
I don't want to. I've reported on this for Teen Vogue and for Cosmo, like over the course of my career about how
Mhm.
really bad, buying cosmetics off of eBay and not a certified Amazon
Of
seller.
course, of course, of
Like,
course.
but like let's like if it's I think you kind of have to use your judgment, but like I remember for Cosmo, Joanna Coles, the editor in chief, I filed my story and I was like thinking like this is great. I worked so hard on it. Like, this is that my reporting is A+. And she was like, you need an anecdote like from somebody who got, you know,
Screwed.
like screwed. And I was thinking like, well, this is gonna be hard. Like I remember just being like really frustrated and like
Right?
I thought I was all done. And I was like, it's gonna take me forever. And within like a day, I found someone whose like eye started itching like crazy. Like literally one
Mm.
of the intern's friends like had got like counterfeit Laura Mercier or counterfeit Too Faced or something from some like kooky site on Amazon. And she had to go to the eye doctor.
Oh, yeah, that is like a mild problem, right?
Yeah,
The lips
yeah.
going up and all that. I, I I saw that documentary, I think, on Netflix, and I almost threw up about some of the I forget the name of it, but it was about counterfeit
I saw. I know what
and
you're talking
and
about.
the
Like,
whole
yeah,
business of it and just how crazy it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Um, talking about these. Okay, so wait. First, I want to it's not even a segue. It's just a complete derailment. I have to tell you that I interviewed Patrick Demarchelier for the movie.
Wow.
And this is something I've never
Wow.
shared about, and I was so excited to talk about it with you because you'll understand. I was so excited when I landed this interview. We go there to Patrick's place, and I have all my things printed out and everything. And Jessica, I'm gonna even I might even put the footage on here because it is so funny. He talked for 7 minutes and I didn't understand anything he said. And then I just kept asking the same question. I said, well, so what was the process? What happened? You know, Kevyn would have come to set, and what it was a great time. It was always a great time. It was a great time. And Kevyn was the best. And I miss him very much. What else? What else? Okay, what did anything happen this shoot? Did anything happen? What about this one with Kate Moss and because I talked to everybody behind this look here. Kate Moss holding the snow globe. Kate is the best. Kevyn's the best. Kate's the best. Paul Cavaco is the best. Garen's the best. They're the best. Okay. And I was like, oh my God. I literally, Jessica, went in.
That was it.
I've never told anybody this. I went into the bathroom and bawled my brains out. I was like, it's 7 minutes.
That happens. That happens.
It was the first time. And so I got it to Jace, my husband, and he was like, honey, I feel so bad. I don't know how to tell you this, but something happened with Patrick's interview and it only recorded 7 minutes. And I would go, honey, that's the
Oh, listen, he gave you a really positive, great quote.
He did.
And he invited you into his home, right?
Oh my God. Well, the studio, which is same thing.
Studio. Okay, the studio.
Yes.
And he said that Kevyn was the best.
Yes. I mean, what more can I ask for, Jessica?
I think this was a success.
This was a success. I didn't have to beat myself
you've got,
up.
You've got the pull quote. Kevyn's the best. I actually think this was a win.
Oh, you know what? It happened 5 years ago, and it's only till now that I feel like I did not fail. This is
no. I think you got what you needed. You were invited into his studio. You got to sit down with a legend.
Yeah.
And he said warm and lovely things about Kevyn and the whole experience.
Yeah.
And he didn't kick you out screaming. He didn't kick you out with
100% no. Yeah.
Boom.
Very gracious. Okay. Yes. So
right.
gracious.
He doesn't say Tiffany. Oh my God, that was what a bust.
What does she do? Who let her in?
Yeah.
This is
no. Oh my God. I think it went great.
Oh, I feel so much better. I'm gonna sleep great tonight now.
Are you kidding? I feel like I was waiting to hear something like, and he said like, who are you? Or like,
no,
we had a terrible, I was waiting for like the shoe to drop.
Okay. No,
the sounds like he's a lovely
shoe was
person.
The 7 minutes. Great. Okay, good.
Oh, please. I feel like with so many like big celebrities, they promise like 15 minutes. And at 7 minutes is when the publicist gets on and is like, thank you so much, Jessica.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's all the time we have now. And I'm like, but
yes.
Yeah. So
yeah. And Naomi said, I'll give you 10, I'll let you ask 10 questions. And then I looked at her at the end of the 10 questions and go, well, that's the 10 questions. And she goes, well, I'm still sitting here. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. Oh, I can definitely think of more. I was like, okay. And I stayed for like 45 minutes. And I was like, that's the opposite. Okay.
You're killing it. I'm going to say, like, it sounds like these 2 interviews have gone better than like my last 2. So please tell me your secrets.
Don't you? Oh my God. The secret is just right. I'm going to tell you a secret is just like, don't ever think about what is happening, right? I mean, if you start to think about things, don't you find you just get in your head and that's not a good place to be. And it's scary and you feel the walls closing in and you're like, wait, how do I get out?
Yeah, you can.
This is the worst feeling.
I mean, you've just named like 2 of like the most prolific people in fashion. And one of them was like I would love to chat with you more. And the other one's
I
like,
know. I
I
was
love
so
your interview
shocked.
subject.
I was so shocked. I know. Well, and then I was going to tell you about this Ashley Judd Bazaar cover is one of my all-time faves. I mean, this was on my wall. I mean, well, of course, Nadia looking like
Oh,
with
oh
the
yeah,
bow tie.
fierce, so fierce,
I mean, that's
so
the
fierce.
number one. Like that's
So
number one.
am I can I say fierce again? I'm just like
You can say
so
it again.
fierce, so
Absolutely.
fierce. It's
Absolutely.
I would love that like as a mural, like on my wall.
Oh my
It's just
God.
so good.
I am going to do that. That
Wouldn't that be so cool, like silk screened on a wall or something?
it would be perfect. But then
I
we'd
just
have
think
to
that's
like
so.
you'd have to pose with it every day and like that's a
I
little
just
bit of
think it's
pressure. But it's
for
a
Lake's nursery.
why not? But it is now this would be also a smoky eye that if you did it on a bride, she'd be a little bit mad. But also in the category of smoky eye, but a patent leather one. Obviously, I put that in the movie. That was one of my favorites. One I wanted to put in the movie for a long time because it was one of my favorites, but the story's sad. This one was Serge Normand did the hair. And when I interviewed Serge about this shoot, it didn't make it in the movie. And I always wanted it to because this was one of the last shoots of Kevin's and he was really sick. And
Wait, this is the Ashley one?
yes.
Or okay, okay.
And a lot of people don't know that it makes me want to cry a little bit actually because she looks so beautiful and the whole story is incredibly beautiful. But he was really sick and Eric Sakis had to finish doing the makeup here.
Oh
And
wow.
so
I did not know that.
yeah, a lot of people don't know that. And I always wanted to share that story because to me, like no one ever talked about it after that happened. It didn't get out into the press. It was another time when these moments were sort of private. And I feel like now it would have been like everybody gossiping about it and nobody really gossiped about this because and Ashley didn't she was so gracious about it and she even we were in talks about interviewing her for the movie. I was going to ask her about it, but it was it needed to go out actually. I needed to finish it. I was like one of those things that was the
Yeah.
last thing I wanted to do. And I I feel like everybody involved in this was really gracious and it ended up being so beautiful and I love that something beautiful came out of a day that was so sort of sad. And when Serge tells the story, he's just so sad. He still is carrying that day around with him, but then you have this beautiful image and it's just sort of
That's
an
a great
interesting.
backstory. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I obviously I love Kevin's work, and there was a million reasons why I was drawn to Kevyn, like as a teenager. I was really into beauty, and there weren't as many artists like him who were putting themselves out there. I mean, Bobbi Brown was, and I loved Bobbi's book. I loved her main book more so than Teenage Beauty. Teenage Beauty, I was like, I'm not a teenager, even though I was a teenager. I was like, I don't need this. I could graduate. Thanks. But I love that Bob,
Novice.
yeah, I was like, Bobbi, I love that you did this for my friends. But I can do your normal book, but I loved, I think Trish had a book at the same time.
Yep.
But I loved Kevyn for a million reasons, but one of them is like I really love that he was so in tune and like in like the same world as like female artists,
Yes.
actresses. He was like buddies with the actresses that I thought were the coolest girls in the world. And he was really tight with like female like musicians. And we know he was super close with Tori Amos. I don't know. Do you know, is he starting to be friendly at all with Britney Spears? She wasn't for me. But like, I wonder what the rapport would have been.
He made her look so respectable and powerful,
Yeah.
in this. And we all know that I'm positive that he wanted, I'd have to ask Troy because he was on that shoot, but I would have to say that he probably wanted her to look not like a tart or, like a pop
Yeah.
star.
Yeah.
She really
Yeah.
looks classy and and
She looks
powerful
amazing. Yeah,
in this picture.
she
Yeah.
looked
I
amazing.
think so too. There's an ultimate respect and power in all of the looks for sure. That was his signature for sure. Um, but we have probably no more time. The baby's gonna wake up.
I think my husband's getting her.
Okay, okay.
But no, but yeah, like I'm so in love with like how you've really kind of paid so much tribute, but you also like make things so relevant for the moment.
Thank
And
you.
your film was so beautiful.
Thank you
And
so much.
yeah,
Thank you
and
so much.
I love your podcast. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love yours, Jessica, and I'm so honored to talk to you, and I really will be watching every single thing that you do from here
Ah!
on out. So, eyes are on you.
Oh my gosh, thanks, Tiffany.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you had a good time listening to our conversation. And please share with me your favorite Bazaar covers. They can be from the past, of course, but also what are you loving now? What really stood out to you in this year? Come join us next week. We're going to be talking to Bobby Thomas, which is super exciting. We're going to be talking about a lot of different philosophies in beauty, and it's a really interesting conversation. We just spoke, and I had an amazing time. Bobby and I go way back, but it's been a very transformative year for everybody, but Bobby especially, and she's going to touch on all of that in next week's episode, so I hope you will join us again. See you soon. Look Behind the Look is a Vinyl Foot production, written by me, your host, Tiffany Bartok, produced by Jace Bartok, edited by Nicole Tucker. If you're interested in learning more, find our video version on the YouTube channel Look Behind the Look podcast. There you can see rare photos and clips from our guests. And please follow us on Twitter at LookBehindPod and Instagram at Look Behind the Look. If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe. And tell your friends and spread the word. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or any podcatcher of your choice. Thanks for listening to Look Behind the Look.